Hello, Internet. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. On today's episode, how are the Utah Jazz favoring in the FIBA World Cup? All that and more. My name is Darren. That is AJ, and this is the DNA Sports Recap.
Roll the intro.
Before we get into content, we'd like to say a special thank you to our subscribers by giving away $500. 5 of our subscribers are each going to get $100. That's going to be from us as a way of saying thank you to our subscribers for tuning in and watching our videos. So once this channel is monetized, we're going to go ahead and give that away. So make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned for more. Yeah, let's talk Utah Jazz. I like that. I like that idea better. All right, so what we're going to talk about on this segment, again, we're in the dog days of the offseason for the NBA. So really all we have really to talk about is how the Jazz are faring in the World Cup.
Yeah, let's talk about players on the teams. Kind of make it a quick little segment for it. So Lauri Markkanen, he's playing for Finland this year. They were obviously just eliminated in a 101-75 loss to Germany. You know, they'd lost their first 2 games to Australia and Japan in group play. So they were pretty much out of it anyway. So he kind of saw limited minutes in his last game. But he did have 12 points, grabbed a couple of rebounds. He's played really well for Finland. Obviously last year in this same type of tournament, he really kind of came out and it made Jazz players really, really excited to see him in the upcoming season, which obviously last year he won Most Improved Player.
Yeah, that was the Euro basket tournament, right?
So, same type of tournament.
Though. Yeah, same type of tournament. And he balled out for sure, and actually did quite well. He was the only Finnish player, in the NBA. So he's the only NBA player on the Finnish team. He averaged 19.3 points per game, 7.3 boards per game. Wasn't at his normal level offensively as far as the efficiency goes.
Really hard when you don't have as talented of players around you.
Yeah, that does hurt. And also he's just rapid. He literally went from military service to play for the national team, and then now that that's over, he's now got to get ready to head over here to
come back home for a Jazz camp.
Yeah, so I'm not really holding it against him, man. Would have liked to see the Finnish team go further, absolutely.
Yeah, especially for their talent level to only have one NBA player.
Let's talk about the de facto hosts. Let's talk about the Philippines and Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah,
obviously they were also eliminated. Again, he played well for his team. Clarkson, again, his points, he averaged 24 points per game, 6.7 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan is your weapon. I think he's your offensive weapon on any team he plays in. I think that doesn't matter if you're in the NBA or you're playing in the FIBA Cup or the Olympics.
Right.
Jordan Clarkson's a scorer. So, I mean, his job is to go there and score points. The Philippines aren't loaded with talent. Their loss, 90-83, they lost to Italy to kind of end it all.
I'm just glad that Jordan Clarkson got out of that tournament healthy.
Yep.
That was my biggest concern. I don't know why, but for some reason, just signing that extension, I was worried that he was going to get hurt. So I'm glad that he came out of that and he's healthy. So that's a win, man. He balled out, showed his value for the team. And let's go ahead and talk about Italy. Let's go ahead and talk about Simone Bentecchio.
He's been playing really well for Italy. And I mean, Italy's making a pretty good run. They made it into the group of 16. So he's got some more basketball to play still. He's obviously on the tail end of this Jazz bench. Dude's a really smooth shooter, man. Been super impressed with his athleticism, throughout this tournament. He's been able to really contribute, to this Italy team. He had 18.6 rebounds, an assist in that win over the Philippines. So he's playing really well. I think this is a really good opportunity for the Jazz coaching staff to kind of see him in an extended play and hopefully get him a chance on that roster somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, he's on this one, he's averaging 16.7 points per game, averaging 4.7 rebounds. He's definitely been kind of their go-to guy on offense, like you said, with his smooth shooting.
Yeah,
definitely something that I look for. I actually caught some of his highlights, and I did not I saw a different player out there than I saw.
Yeah. You haven't had an opportunity to see him play like that with the Jazz.
No, and they've also came out of a very tough group in Group A, so they finished second in that group. And I believe they're facing Serbia and Puerto Rico at their next round.
Those are some rough teams. Serbia is a very rough team to play against.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But those are 2 tough teams that I definitely don't want to go through. So good luck to to Italy and our good guy Simone Bentecchio as well.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and move over to let's talk a little bit about Kelly Olynyk up there in Canada.
I mean, they had some dominant wins on that Canada team. I mean, to beat France, who I mean, France is kind of becoming a semi powerhouse in the World Basketball Organization, right? And they beat Lebanon pretty handily. And then, they get onto their rounds after the group play. And I mean, Olynyk had 16 points, 4 rebounds in that win over Latvia. He's played really good basketball. I watched some of the highlights of even just the Canada team, and you're seeing a lot of Kelly Olynyk, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it just kind of shows that Kelly Olynyk's a really, really good playmaker, one that I wasn't really aware of. I mean, I think he does that stuff with the Jazz, but it was really on display playing with this Canada national team, who's really talented, by the way.
Yeah. Mike Conley got hurt. Clarkson was in foul trouble. And they didn't have the depth at the guard position they had. You saw Kelly Olynyk run the offense quite a bit last year.
You can definitely see that the Jazz roster trusts him to have the ball in his hand, make the right decision. And it's kind of refreshing to know that you kind of have that. He's been in the league for a long time, man. So I think we're going to rely on Kelly for some of that veteran leadership in some of these schemes down the road with the Jazz and into this season.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the Canadian team has been outstanding. They've been winning by an average margin of 37 points per game in their group play, which is
pretty crazy.
Wow, that's pretty good,
especially to beat France, man.
Yeah, Olynyk had an average of 22 points per game, 8 rebounds, 5.7 assists. Clear-cut number 2 on the team, so he did a great job there. Canadians now in the second round, their first game is going to be against Brazil. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the United States and Walker Kessler.
Last but not least,
I'm really excited, man. I saw a couple of the warm-up games and stuff like that. He wasn't really being used very much at all. Steve Kerr very much using him as a matchup type player. However, you have seen his play, his minutes go up as the games progressed. But what do you think about our guy, Walker Kessler, and how he's performed so far?
I mean, again, played very limited minutes. I think the most important thing to take away from this is just getting experience being on the basketball court and practicing with some of the higher end, and upcoming players in the league. This is great experience for Walker Kessler. This is stuff that you can't teach him. And a lot of guys don't get an opportunity to play with this level of talent day in and day out for a couple of months. And especially in a stage, that's big, it's not the Olympics, but this is a big stage. The FIBA World Cup's a big deal. And the U.S. is expected to win this whole thing. So to be on this team and have that sort of expectation, I think that's going to help him a ton moving into this Jazz season where they're going to have similar expectations. The Jazz want to continue to win, and Walker Kessler is going to be a big part of that team. So I hope this helps prepare him to move forward into this upcoming NBA season. Yeah,
I definitely think Steve Kerr's kind of just playing him carefully. He did have a tournament high 12 minutes in the last game, finishing with 8 points and 3 blocks against Jordan, which was great to see. So we will start seeing an uptick in minutes as we go into the next round. The Americans are going to be facing Montenegro and Lithuania in the second round. Those teams are anchored by NBA big men. You've got Nikola Vucevic. I don't know why I have such a hard time with that guy's last name.
Yeah.
It gets me every time. But he's averaging 20 points and 7 assists. He's the star for Montenegro. And then you also have Jonas Valanciunas, who is 13.7 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, leading the Lithuanian team. So he's got his handful in the next couple of games for sure.
I think we'll definitely see some more Kessler in the upcoming games for the U.S.
Yeah.
So I think to kind of close this out, the most important thing for me in for all of these players is we are getting really valuable experience for these players. Some of these guys are obviously veterans and some of them are newer guys, but this is experience that we need on this Jazz team to accomplish what the Jazz are hoping to accomplish this year. I think it's been a great audition for Fontecchio, like I mentioned. And just like you said, the biggest takeaway for this whole thing is so far nobody's gotten hurt, knock on wood, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, for Jordan Clarkson and Lauri Markkanen to get out of there without injuries, it's huge, dude. I mean, those are guys that we're going to rely on to count really big minutes. At very least, we're building some relationships with players from other teams that could really help the Jazz in, potentially recruiting in the future. Walker Kessler's going to have experience with all these guys from Team USA. Some of these guys are going to be free agents in the future. And if you've got a relationship with guys, that's how you get players to come play for the Jazz. So this is going to be a good thing for the Utah Jazz for sure.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing Kessler's play in the next round to see if he can handle a little bit more physical, because that's where his game's going to be at. So to see where he goes with that. We already know how well he performed in the NBA last season. So love to see how that is going to expand more. You got anything else on the Utah Jazz or anything else on FIBA?
Nope, man. It's going to be good. I'm going to continue watching for sure.
Absolutely. Let us know in the comments down below, folks, what you guys think of how the Jazz are performing so far in the FIBA World Basketball Classic or World Basketball Cup, World Championship. I don't know what they're calling it over there, but whatever.
Leave a comment and let us know what it's actually called. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah, let us know on that as well. Again, if you're just like us, you're hoping that we have a lot of our young players getting a lot of experience, coming back and using that for the team. Let us know if you think the same there. And let us know if we missed anything as well. Once again, folks, this is available as a podcast. So if you are watching at the end card to the link to the actual full episode will be on that side. And it's also available as audio only wherever you find your podcasts.
Yep. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like it. Make sure you share it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Again, we're giving that money away and we'd love to give it to you.
Once again, folks, my name is Darren. That is AJ. And this has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.